Cibavi Deos, exaudi perfumenti, Alleluia. Et de Petra mele, satura videos, Alleluia, Alleluia, Exultate Deo adiutori nostro, Jubilate Deo Jacob. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper, et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Cibavi Deos, exaudi perfumenti, Alleluia. Et de Petra mele, satura videos, Alleluia, Alleluia, Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Christe eleison. Christe eleison. Christe eleison. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie eleison. Kyrie et in terra vax hominibus bone voluntatis laudamus te, benedicimus te, adoramus te, glorificamus te. Gratias agimus tibi, propter magnam gloriam tuam. Domine Deus, lex celestis, Deus Pater omnipotens, Domine Filii unigenite, Iesu Christe, Domine Deus, Agnus Dei, Filius Patris, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis, qui tollis peccata mundi, suscipe deprecationem nostram, qui sedes ad dexteram Patris, miserere nobis, quoniam tu solus sanctus, tu solus Dominus, tu solus altissimus, Iesu Christe, cum Sancto Spiritu, in gloria Dei Patris. Amen.
Dominus vobiscum,
Et cum spiritu tuo,
oremus. Deus, qui nobis sub sacramento mirabili, passiones tuae memoriam reliquisti, tribo equesimus, ita nos corporis et sanguinis tui sacra mysteria venerari, ut redemptiones tuae fructum in nobis iugiter senteamus, qui vivis et regnas cum Deo Patre in unitate Spiritus Sancti Deus, per omnia saecula saeculorum.
Amen.
Lectio Epistolae Beati Pauli Apostoli ad Corinthios. Fratres, ego enim accepi ad Domino, quod tradidi vobis, quoniam Dominus Iesus, in qua nocte trarebatur, accepit panem, gratias agens fregit et dixit, accipite et manducate, hoc est corpus meum, quo pro vobis tradetur, hoc facite in meum commemorationem, similiter et caligem, osquam nove dicens, calix novum testamentum, est in meo sanguine, hoc facite quod si escunque vivetis, in meum commemorationem. Quoties quercumque enum adducabitis panem hunc, et calicem bibetis, mortem Domini annunciabitis donec veniat. Itaque quicumque maducavit panem hunc, vel bibet et calicem Domine indigne, reus erit corporis et sanguinis Domini. Proberatem se ipsum homo, et sic de pane illo edat, et de calice bibat. Qui enim manducat, et bibit indigne, judicium sibi manducat, et bibit, non de iuricans corpus Domini.
Oculi omnium in desperan Domine et todas illis escam in temple opportuno aperis tu manum tua et imbles omne anima benedictione Alleluia. Alleluia. Caro meus, veles potus, qui manducat meam canem, et bibit meum sanguinem in me manet, et ego in Lauda sian Salvatorem, lauda ducem et pastorem, in hymnis et canticis, quantum potest tantum aude, quia maior omne laude, nec laudare sufficis, laudes tema specialis, panis vivus et vitalis, odio proponitur, quem in sacre mensa cene, tubet pacrum duedene, datum non ambigitur, sit las plena, sit sonora, sit jucunda, sit decora, mentis jubilatio, dies enim solemnis agitur, in quam mense primare colitur, huius institutio. In hac mensa novi legis, novum Pascha novo legis, phase vetus terminat, vetustatem novitas, umbra fugat veritas, noctem lux eliminat. Quod in cena Christus gessit, faciendum hoc expressit, in sui memoria. Docti sacris institutis, panem vinum in salutis, consecramus hostiam. Dogma dator Christianis, quod in canem transit panis, et finum in sanguinem. Quod non capus, quod non vides, animos affirmat fides, praetorerum ordinem. Sum diversi speciebus, signis tandum et non rebus, lant et res examine. Caro cibus sanguis potus, manet tamen Christus totus, sub utraque specie. Assumente non concisus, non confractus, non divisus, intelgerat cibitur. Sumit unus sumunt mille, quantum iste tantum ille, noc sumptus consumitur. Sumunt bonis, sumunt mali, sote tamen iniquali, ita vel interitus. Os et maris vita bonis, fide paris sumptionis, quam si desparexitus. Fracto demos sacramento, ne facile subramento, tantum esse suffragmento, quantum toto tecitum. Nulla Dei fit sula, signitandum fit fractura, qua naxatus nextatura, signati munuitur. Ecce panis angelorum, factus cibus fiatorum, ere panis filiorum, non mitendus canibus, in figuris presignatur, cum Isaac immolatur, agnus pasce deputatur, datur mana patribus. Bone pastor panis vere, Iesu nostri miserere, tu nos pasce nos tuere, tu nos bona fac videre, in terra viventium. Tu qui cunctascis et vares, qui nos pascicit portares, tu os ibi commensares, coheredes et sodares, fac sanctorum civium. Amen. Alleluia.
Dominus vobiscum,
Et cum spiritu tuo,
sequentia Sancti Evangelii, secundum Ioannem.
gloria tibi, Domine.
In illo tempore, dixit Iesus torbis Judeorum, carum mea vere est cibus, et sanguis meus vere est potus. Qui manducat meum carnem, et bibem meum sanguinem, in me manet, et ego in illo. Sicut misit me vivens pater, et ego vivo propter patrem, et qui manducat me, et ipse vive propter me. Hic est panis qui de celo descendit, non sicut manduca verum Patris vestri mana, et mortuis sum, qui manducarum panem, vivet in aeternum.
Greetings and welcome to friends and members of the Cathedral Parish joining us today for our 12:30 Mass, our sung Latin Mass. Today it's a little calmer outside and a beautiful day, and as you can see, and I see from a couple of you out, you got the message that for those who wish, you need not remain in your cars. If you wanted to get out of your cars just to keep the distance, you can, and bring your own chairs if you wish, or pop-up tents, or whatever you need, and or just stand outside on the grass there, over to the sides, wherever, for any of our future outdoor masses. With regard to those, I'm not sure where we're going to be going with the schedule, and I'm welcome to any input and ideas from you, as earlier today and yesterday evening, we did begin to have some of our weekend masses indoors. We had our 7 a.m. Quiet Mass and our 4 p.m. Vigil Mass yesterday. The others have been outside today, and I'm not sure what next weekend is going to look like. We will begin or resume our indoor daily Masses tomorrow as well. I'm not entirely certain about the schedule around the Masses, such as confessions and adoration. We got to build up to these things again, it seems. But at least for Mass will be our normal times. The 7 a.m. low Mass at St. Patrick from Monday through Friday. Not sure what Saturday is going to look like. And then our 12:10 ordinary form Mass here at the Cathedral. Those times will eventually be posted online, and you could register, get a spot for that. Or if you don't get a spot, come in person and just give your name and number, and that'll be fine as well. Although the preference is to register for capacity things, although I don't expect that for this point with the daily Masses. So those are the couple kind of things on the mind and what's going on here in our parish today. A growing number of people have been coming out for the Masses, and I know other parishes have started offering or resuming their indoor Masses too. So we will get to that point. Today we're offering the Mass of Corpus Christi, which on the universal calendar was this past Thursday, but in the new Mass it's often moved to Sunday, and in the custom here in the United States have the solemnity celebrated on Sundays. So that's what we've opted for this because it's such a tremendous feast. There are a couple things that come to mind with regard to it today that will join into the liturgy is reflected and something I think is curious but beautiful and something to ponder. That'll be toward the end of the homily this afternoon. But rather to recognize and affirm the treasure that we have in the Holy Eucharist, as we do with this Feast of Corpus Christi. And as was posted earlier this morning, which I found to be very helpful, on the Catholic Thing, which is a site that I will often cite and post a link on, talking a bit about the origins of Corpus Christi. And that when we get to the point of Urban and St. Thomas Aquinas, that it was already underway before that, locally. And to recognize that the need that was there in the church at that time for this feast, the need that was present to understand the depths and beauty and power and truth of the Blessed Sacrament, of the Holy Eucharist, of the Lord Jesus present in the sacrament. And that centuries ago, the church saw that. And we today know that this needs to be reaffirmed again. It does, we know from the studies that have been conducted that show the low numbers of those who believe, or I should say low numbers who believe in the real presence, the high numbers that don't. An absolute failure to appreciate and to recognize the truth of the Holy Eucharist and the gift and the treasure that the church has had and has preserved for centuries. We know that in recent months as well, the great confusion that has been present, and that led to the distancing, led to the impossibility or difficulty of having access to the sacrament and having access to the worship of Mass, short of on a screen virtually through live stream. We need this feast today and this year as the church has needed it in the past. And of course, with all feasts, it's directing our attention to the Lord, whether as the saints, which direct us to the Lord through these individuals who have done holy things, but in today's case, to not only have that particular attention and worship given, but to reaffirm and that need to recall that we need to continue to grow in our love for the Lord Jesus and present for us in the Holy Eucharist. Here then today, so the first thing, of course, then we know the real presence. We understand that. We believe that. It's what brings us out today, even in being in cars or somewhat different circumstances. But we don't stop there. For we know that in the gift that we have, where the Eucharist becomes, where it's made, the consecration takes place in the Mass. And so that every time that we gather in the presence of the Lord Jesus in the Holy Eucharist, reserved in a tabernacle or before us in adoration, that we know it's bringing us to that continuation of that act that was made in the Mass represented to us, that act that was made for us on that first Good Friday in the Paschal mystery that brings us then to Easter Sunday. And so we can't separate ever fully the great sacrament that we have from where the sacrament is properly celebrated, where the sacrament comes about in the Mass. Again, these are things that we know, but we need to gather, integrate more, and to be able to share, to bring others to understand that. The final thing that we can look at today is just as we call the sacrament Holy Communion as well. And that's seeing this distancing that is taking place in ranging in so many things, even how people come into the church. I've set apart and people being distant. In an article earlier today that I came upon, I was reading about how in Britain, this new expression that has come about called support bubbles. Not sure if you heard about this. What is now allowed, which is now permissible, is that people from different households can now be together. So two households that up to this point have had to stay apart, stay distant because of what's been going on with the legislation and guidelines and everything like that and the separation. Now at least can exclusively one household can be with another. On a negative side, what part of this boils down to is for singles to be together and to be intimate together now being again permissible and being accepted by the government. So supporting immorality that's out there, of course. Because if they were already of the same household, well, it wouldn't have mattered if they were together as a family and married. But there's something else going on here with that, in that those who are genuinely alone, those particularly older age, now can find, because they haven't been able to this point, find friendship, companionship, care if they need it, but to be together in a physical proximity, a closeness. On a natural level, we see that need and desire for being together, and why it's been so wonderful in these weeks after not seeing so many people from the parish and friends and family members to more and more see people in regular circumstances, or at least more regular than they've been up to this point, to be together. That we find on this natural, basic level, this human level. But we know and see in the sacraments that we can take the matter, take the natural, we can take the stuff. And in God's wisdom and providence, the basic, natural, simple things are elevated to something greater. That in the sacraments of bread, the materials of bread and wine, we see in a natural way that we become hungry, that we need food in order to survive. Without food for quite some time, we are going to fail on the natural level. On the supernatural level, then, to see in the sacraments, particularly today on the Feast of Corpus Christi, in the sacrament of the Holy Eucharist, that hunger that each and every single human being possesses, but as the frenzy of life or choices that one makes can ignore or fail to recognize the hunger that we were created for God with, the hunger on a deeper level. To look to the sacrament and to see that and be reminded of that. The preface for today, as it's been for centuries, the preface that I will chant at the appropriate time is not the preface of the Holy Trinity or the common preface, but rather the preface of the Nativity. This is the final thought or offering for today. For how awesome is that, in which the Church presented to us on this feast day of Corpus Christi the preface of the Nativity. For what do we see in the Nativity? The preface tells us that what is made visible to us is previously the invisible, the Word incarnate that comes among us, so that we might be caught up through the things invisible to the invisible realities and in love of something more. Therein we find the mystery and beauty of the incarnation. But we see that time and time again, an incarnation taking place in bread and wine, transformed into the Lord Jesus. The invisible brought to us visibly, so that through the visible we might be caught up into love of things invisible. After this, apart from Sacred Heart this Friday, we'll then move into some quieter times in the church's liturgical calendar, with occasional feasts here and there, but Sundays are going to just kind of plod along. I invite for those who wish in person or through our live stream to take a look and see the times we're offering Vespers, as we started to offer that more on Sunday evenings here in the cathedral in person, to come and join and chant or simply